Just got done working out, and I'm gonna share with you what I read every time I wake up. One of my favorite books, Letter from a Stoic. I decided to take pages out of it and put it on my calendar, right there. So take it off. There goes some mess. Don't mind that. Gotta read it to you because it helps me. Helps me a lot. So we have. Let me turn the light. Light's not working. Okay. So why does one not admit his failings? Because he's still deep in them. It's the person who's awakened who recounts his dream, and acknowledging one's failings is a sign of health. That's a big one for me because I ignore a lot of things that I do wrong, and I know they're wrong, but I still choose to ignore them. This is a good one. Another good one. A change of character, not a change of air, is what you need. Whatever your destination, you will be followed by your failings. Here is what Socrates said to someone who was making the same complaint. How can you wonder your travels do you no good when you carry yourself around with you? You are saddled with the very thing that drove you away. So, let's say someone is causing me to be a bad character, bad influence, or a drug, and I'm getting away from it. It's not the person that made me this way. It's not the drug that made me this way. It was myself. And when I'm running away from that, it's, I am the thing I'm bringing with me. I am the failing that I am bringing with me. So that's a really big one for me. Another one is, I don't know where this starts off from. This is for me, I deal with a lot of physical and chronic pain. So there is comforting thing about extremities of pain. If you feel it too much, you are bound to stop feeling it. Another point is that pain leaves off altogether, or at least falls off in intensity from time to time. Moreover, one can guard against its arrival and employ drugs to forestall it just as it's coming on. For every pain, or at least every pain with habit of regular reoccurrence, gives one advance warning of its coming. In illness, the suffering is always bearable, so as long as you refuse to be affected by the ultimate threat. So do not go out of your way to make your troubles any more tiresome than they already are, and burden yourself with fretting, provide that one's thinking has not been adding anything to it. Pain is a trivial sort of thing. If by contrast you start giving yourself encouragement, saying to yourself it's nothing or nothing much anyway, let's stick it out. It will be presently then, in thinking it a trivial matter, you will be ensuring that it actually is. Everything hangs on one's thinking. The love of power or money or luxurious living are not the only things guided by popular thinking. We take care of our cue from people's thinkings, even in the way we feel pain. So that's something I try to read every morning. This is a good one. As it is, instead of traveling, you are rambling and drifting, exchanging one place for another when the thing you are looking for, the good life, is available everywhere. Could there be a scene of greater turmoil than the city? Yet, even there, if you need be, you are free to lead a life of peace, given free choice of posting. Though I should flee a long way of the vicinity, let alone the sight of the city. For in the way as there are unpleasant climates which are trying even to the most robust constitutions, there are others which are too wholesome for the mind, even if be a sound one, when it is still a imperfect state and building up its strength. I do not agree with those who recommend a stormy life and plunge straight into the breakers, waging a spirited struggle against worldly obstacles every day of their life. The wise man will put up with these things, not go out of his way to meet them. He will prefer a peace. He will prefer a state of peace to a state of war. So, what he says there is basically, just to sum it up, sometimes we want to think negatively. Why think that way when you can just think positively, lead a life of peace. Some people want drama, they want gossip, they want this, they want that. Why lead a life of that when it's obviously affecting you, Okay, here's a good one. Wherever you look, your eye will light on things that might stand out if everything around them were not equal of standard. So give up this hope of being able to get an idea of the genius of the greatest figures by so cursory an approach. You will have to examine and consider it as a whole. There is a sequence about the creative process, and a work of genius is a synthesis of its individual features from which nothing can be subtracted without disaster. I have no objection to your inspecting the components individually, provided you do so without detaching them from the personality they belong to. A woman is not beautiful when her ankle or arms whine compliments, but when her total appearance diverts admiration from the individual parts of her body. That's a good one. I don't know how to sum that up, but yeah. I want to share another thing that I do read. I did have this. Ow, that hurt. I did have this on my wall. I'm going to put it back up. It's covering a hole in the wall that I made like when I was like 15, and I was just an angry teenager. I'd rather cover it up with wisdom. Wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Just a bunch of quotes. There is a lot of typos. I got it off Amazon for cheap. So I can see why there's a lot of typos. I think it was just copy and paste. So I don't know how that's possible. He says, our life is what our thoughts make it. And the next one is, you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A stoic way of thinking. God, my face is... I just got done working out, by the way. I probably should have taken a shower after I was done. Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. I do not like that one. I think that shit's corny. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I like that one. Because it's like, A lot of people are unhappy because of their quality of their thoughts. They're thinking negatively constantly, you know. Like, for example, I get into work and like everything's a mess. Everything is that we're busy, but I think about it positively. What merit will I gain from today? What virtue will I gain from thinking about this positively? And what experience will I be getting? I think I love thinking that way because it improves me as a person, instead of just like, oh, today's gonna be hard. It's not that I do want things to be hard. It's just if the circumstance is there, I will think about it positively. Everything we hear is opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. I like this one too because it's like, for example, like there's this like podium for who's the greatest gorilla person, and I don't like that because there's different age groups, there's different types of people, different kind of mental disorders, and I just don't like degrading other people because I'm better than them or they're worse than me. I hate that shit. It's not the truth. Everything we see is perspective. Yeah, I also believe that too because it's like I'm having a bad day, like let's say I'm having a bad day at work. As long as I make it out those doors, I win. I don't even care how bad I do that day. As long as I make it out of those doors, I win. I'm a winner, you know? Life is neither good or evil, but a place for good and evil. That's a good one. That's a good one. Ooh, I like this one. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think some of these quotes are by Marcus Aurelius. I will say that. I don't think some of them are. I might be wrong. I need to actually do my research on this. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The best revenge is to not be like your enemy. I swear to God, I heard another philosopher say that quote. Then again, I could be wrong. But yeah, that's all I will be saying for today. These are the things I read every morning. Obviously, I should change it up because these things are instilled in my mind. And yeah, I think I should switch it up every now and a while. So yeah,